How's it going? Welcome to Harper's Block, and today I want to talk to you about why you should consider yoga even if you're barely woo-woo or spiritual. A couple of days ago, I was scrolling through Twitter and I came across this tweet from Blavity, and it was a post on a helpful infographic that shows the benefits of yoga. So yoga had been on my mind for like the past few weeks, and of course I love seeing anything that has to do with black people doing things that kind of seem like a white thing to do. So of course I was like, Blavity's posting about yoga, I should check this out. So it was a very helpful infographic. It mentioned some things in the graphic about how yoga improves sense of balance and improves sexual function and also helps with anxiety. And depending on where you're listening to this at, I have included a link to the post so you can check it out yourself and share it with your friends. But like I mentioned before, yoga had been, you know how you have like I think this is your intuition, but you know when you have like an idea that kind of haunts your soul and then you start to see it everywhere, like something you know you should be doing, but then you kind of toss it aside like, nah, I'm not going to do that, no. Well, yoga was one of those things that I knew I should be doing, but just was coming up with every excuse to not do it. What made me want to consider doing yoga is the fact that as a virtual assistant, and I'm a virtual assistant that helps like expert coaches, marketing coaches, and consultants, people who do business online, like a good majority, like Lord God, 98% of my time is spent in a chair. So I just feel like, and I'm hunched over on a laptop or hunched over on my phone, and I'm just like, this can't be good for my body. And I feel like yoga would be the perfect exercise that gets my body moving in different ways, got me like a pretzel so I can utilize these areas that I neglect when I'm sitting down for 12 plus hours, which 6 of those hours I spend doing coursework because I'm a nerd and I like to take courses and read blogs and stuff like that because I'm such a nerd. Just so you don't think my clients are abusing me, they so aren't, but I do still end up in a chair for a majority of the day. And on top of that, with yoga, it's 2017, it's January. This is the year of getting stuff done. Every December, we look at the year and we think of where we're not at. And one of the things that I'm just tired of always neglecting is moving my body and exercising, doing something good for me. So I figured we're still on the New Year's high. I'm going to stop waiting and do some yoga finally. And I found some yoga videos on YouTube that I was really itching to try. So I figured, why not do it? I'm digressing pretty bad here, so let's just hop into it. These are a couple of things that I want you to consider if you're putting off doing yoga too, just from me doing yoga these past couple of days, that I think will help you in the long run. So one of the reasons you should consider doing yoga is that doing yoga is really the act of creating a habit of being in control of yourself, of taking responsibility for your actions, taking responsibility of what you will do and what you won't do. We always find an excuse to not do something, especially if it's for ourselves, especially if it's something good for ourselves. But then we also tend to do this thing where we bend over backwards for people, and we get really upset because sometimes we're doing all this extra work, we're doing all this hard work for people, and it always seems like the good things we do go unnoticed, and like the bad things you do get hammered down the most. So yoga is like, or even meditating, anything that's just good for you is really like you making a statement here saying, you know what, I'm doing what I want to do. I want to do some yoga. People keep unappreciating me. I don't know if that's a word, but people don't appreciate me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some yoga. I'm going to do something for me, since people are crazy out here. So that's something to think about. So it gives you some control over what you'll do for yourself. Since we always do all this extra stuff for other people, doing yoga is literally this act of you doing something for yourself that feels good to you so you can reward yourself, so that you're not always so angry when other people aren't, giving you what you believe you deserve. You're giving yourself what you believe you deserve. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 2, I didn't say number 1 for the first one, but I want to let you know when I transition into the next point. So number 2, doing yoga gives you something else to focus on other than your problems. Now this one I think is really, really important. And I also believe this is why yoga is considered one of those things that really helps with lowering your blood pressure and also helping release stress. Because when you're doing yoga, and this is something I noticed from doing it these past couple of days, I'm on day 4. So what I've noticed is that I don't have time to think about who made me mad, or I don't have time to think about, the future. I don't even have time to think about the future because I'm too busy trying to figure out how to hold this plank without dying, and I'm too busy trying to figure out how I'm going to do this move that she's trying to get me to do. Like, what on earth? How does she think I'm finna do this move? And I'm a human being. So doing yoga really does get you out of your head and get you into just doing something. And when you're focusing on something else, you have a break from your anxiety. You have a break from your fears. You have a break from people getting on your nerves. So doing yoga, meditating, just doing something that you have to focus all of yourself into naturally helps you forget about the bull crap, which gives you a break from it. And even if it's just 30 minutes to an hour of somebody telling you what to do like they're your dominatrix, it just helps you come up with solutions. Like, you're clearing your mind, you're focusing on something else. So then when you step out of it, you almost don't even remember what you were upset at. But when it does come back up, you're in a new place in your head, so you can identify a solution or just allow a transformation that comes with struggle. So that is something to consider if you're wanting to do yoga. Also, this third one piggybacks off of the first and the second one. I'm just now realizing as I'm looking at this list, but it's okay. So the third thing you should consider about doing yoga or anything else that you think will add to your life that you keep coming up with an excuse as to not do it. That was a lot. It's a good reminder that you are a human being that can literally do anything you want. If you're an Instagrammer, I know you see a lot of naked women popping up on your Explore tab who can do these crazy acrobatic moves like doing forearm stands, and like have their legs going every which way. And then that just makes you remember, like, oh, she's a human being just like me. She couldn't always do this thing. So obviously it takes some practice, to get to this point. Maybe I should try this out. So as I've been doing yoga, and I've chosen to do yoga focused on chakras so I can be working on some things on the back end in the spirit world, because, I do believe it. I am spiritual and woo-woo, but I'm trying to tell you why you should do it if you're not so spiritual and woo-woo, which I'm sure this is going to make you spiritual and woo-woo. But what I appreciate about doing yoga, just like I said before, you're too busy thinking about how you're going to survive doing a plank or not fall during a warrior pose or a tree pose, that it really helps me connect with my body, like feeling the pain, feeling the stretch, and taking those deep breaths in, even though you feel really stupid when you do it. It just really helps me get back into myself. And that's empowering, because it reminds you that, again, you are a human being who deserves to be here. You're a human being that breathes, that walks, that is just an animal on this earth, just like a dog, just like a cat. They're just out there doing their dogly thing. They're just out there doing your catly thing. And you too are a human. You are a human. Your clients that you work with are humans. The people on the internet, that these big old celebrities, are human beings. They're humans just like you. And it just makes you think about the fact that there used to be a time where we didn't have internet. There used to be a time where there weren't these big businesses. Like, we were just human beings out here who had to live off the earth, who had to live in tree-made houses and stuff like that. Like, we as human beings have done a lot of incredible things, but it still comes back to the point that we are humans and we can do literally anything that we want, no matter what, at the drop of a dime. We don't have to follow these rules. You are a human. You are a human. So it makes like the people who you give a lot of energy to a lot smaller. Like, it makes, and even the people you don't give a lot of energy to matter more. You know, like a stranger you walk past on the street, instead of just be like, oh, I can't make eye contact with them because that's weird. You remember, oh, this person I just walked by is a human being. And then you look at people like your bosses who are probably getting on your nerves, and like maybe even some rude people in your life. Like if you see internet trolls going for people's lives, you again look at them like, you're a human being. You're just choosing to act this way. You're acting like you're bigger than what you really are. I don't need to be afraid of you. I don't need to give you as much of my energy because, again, you're just as human as I am. So why do I give you so much of my energy? Hopefully that makes sense. So I don't know if I've convinced you to do yoga yet. I know I've digressed a lot during this audio. I hope it made some sort of sense. There is a written version of this that's probably equally as confusing to read. I'm working on my writing, you guys. I'm getting back into the swing of things that I would like you to check out. So if I have convinced you to do yoga, I think you should check out this girl that I have been doing her yoga videos for the past couple of days. Her name is Brett Larkin, and she has this series of chakra yoga videos that are about 40 minutes to 30 minutes each that have been giving me all the life, and I've been having a ton of fun doing them. So I have that also in this blog post here. Depending on where you're listening to this at, you can get the link to her video so you can check those out. Super easy to do, not intimidating at all, and she's a sweetheart. You can just tell she's a sweetie pie. So I hope you enjoyed this post. If so, share it with your homies. And if you want to keep getting more posts like this, please sign up for my Creative Monster mailing list, where you will get access to my free course called What You Need to Master to Become a Creative Monster That Gets Ish Done and Makes Their Mark. And this is for people who either want to be creative or are already creative or just want to create awesome stuff in their life, period. So it's for everybody. So get on that list, get more lifestyle, mindset, and entertainment posts from me, Tiara, creator of Harper's Block. Namaste. I know that was cheesy. It was yoga. I had to take advantage of it. And Brett says it at the end of every video, so I just thought I'd be cute. But anyway, namaste.